right, so normally I write my own melody line for the lesson each week, and then we break that down, and that becomes the instructional part. This week, however, we're going to take a classic song. We're going to take the song Shady Grove. Now, this is my own composition of Shady Grove, but I didn't write the melody. That's a sort of just a classic old Appalachian song, and there's lots of versions of it. Usually you hear this done in D minor. We're going to be playing it in A minor, but what I love about this is it's 2 chords. It's an A minor and a G chord. And it's a very simple little melody that's very repetitive. We're going to learn it in 2 spots, 2 different octaves. And I'm going to do this in 2 different levels. I'm calling it level 1 and level 2. We're going to start off in level 1. Just about anybody can do this. And if you're not a pick player, if you don't play with your pick, you can do level 1 because you could use your thumb. It's all going to be downstrokes. And it's just to establish the melody and the rhythm part. So we're going to break that down in level 1. And then we're going to add to that, we're going to add some embellishments to that, some upstrokes. And this whole exercise, this whole song, even if you're not familiar with Shady Grove or you don't like this style of music, it's still a really good exercise in left and right hand syncopation, and as well as alternate strumming and alternate picking with the right hand. So there's a lot of value in this. I've got this lesson split into 2 parts. So in this video, we're going to go through that level 1, level 2 for the first half. If you'd like to learn the second half, as well as download the tablature for level 1 and level 2, which I have in a PDF format, as well as the on-screen tab viewer, which is interactive. You can get those things by going to activemelody.com, go to the weekly lessons page, and do a search for EP448. All right, so as I mentioned, there's just 2 chords in this. It's a very simple structure. Here's how it goes if I just were to call out the chords. It's A minor, G, G, A minor. And then it goes to G, G, and then back to A minor. And that's the whole thing. Now we're going to weave a melody in with that. But that's what it sounds like. And as I mentioned, I've heard it done usually in D minor. I think that's because Doc Watson plays it in D minor. But I like the kind of darker mood that it creates in A minor. I just thought it sounded a little lower in the registry versus, that's how it would sound in D minor. It sounds a little more happy, maybe. I don't know. Just the vibe I was going for. Okay. So the way that this works then is we're going to play the melody on the beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where the melody falls. The rhythm falls on the offbeat, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it falls on the and. So just watch this. Here's the rhythm part. I'll call out the offbeat part. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You can see every time I'm hitting that chord, it's on the and. And every time I'm playing the melody, it's on a number, or the 1, 2, 3, 4, the beat. Okay, so we're going to start off with an intro that goes like this. And I've used this intro in other things. This is sort of my go-to A minor intro. I just love it. It's so versatile. And it's something that I think you'll get a lot of mileage out of when you learn this. So here's how we do this. We make an A minor with the left hand, and then we're going to play the open 5th string, and then play the chord, and then watch this. So with my pinky then, well, first of all, I played the open 6th string, or the open E string. Pinky goes to the 3rd fret, 6th string, and then we're back to the open 5th string. So all together you have, and then play the chord again, and that's it. We're going to loop through that, and we're going to do that 4 times. The only other thing I'll mention about that is instead of letting the notes ring out like that, if you want to play it more like the way Doc Watson would do it, you play it like this. Hear the difference? It's a little more suspenseful sounding that way. And that's using a combination of palm muting with the right hand, so letting your palm of your hand rest on the strings back here to get those bass notes, but then also muting the strum like that, as opposed to letting it all ring out. When you mute it, you get that sound. So you might want to play around with that. I'll leave that up to you as to how you want to do it. But that's 2 options on that. Okay, so that's the intro. We play through that 4 times, and then we go right into the melody like this. Here we go. And we're going to do this easy version first. Now, notice the difference in tone when we went from the intro the verse. And what I did basically was I moved the position of my right hand. This is a big takeaway for some of you. When you change the position on an acoustic, well, on electric as well, but acoustic guitar is where it shines the most. You don't have pickups or anything in there. Well, you know what I'm saying, not like in a traditional electric guitar. But you change the position back towards the bridge, you get a much brighter sound, as opposed to this. So to differentiate between the intro and the verse, I just switched my hand and played it back here to get that brighter sound. I find myself doing that a lot on acoustic guitar, especially if I'm doing a lead break. It just sounds brighter and punchier back here. And it's actually easier because there's more tension in the strings. It's easier to play faster, I think, back here versus here where the strings are a little looser. Okay, so here's how the melody goes then. That's the first thing we're going to learn. And we're starting with the A minor chord. We're going to play the 5th string, play the chord. We do that again. So it's... And then it goes like this. So that's where I switch to the G chord. You can see I'm making a G chord with my left hand. So it's like this. A minor, and then we go middle finger on the 2nd fret, 5th string. Then we play strings 5 and 4 open. That's a point where the rhythm and the melody intersect. So normally it's 1 and 2 and, but at this point they intersect and they happen at the same time. And that's sort of a workaround there. It's just to play, basically it's just a rhythmic thing. You're just trying to give it a fuller sounding note instead of just the single string. And then I go into the G chord. Now notice I'm making the G chord like this as opposed to like this. I know this is how most of us learn to make a G. I find it easier to make them like this for lots of reasons. Mainly because I go between a G and a C chord quickly. But however you make the chord, I would recommend doing it like this. That last note there is the 3rd fret, 6th string, which is your G note. And then you can play the full G chord as the follow-up. So you have... Okay? Then we're going to go like this. So that gets us back. This is the second part of that first verse there. So it's same A minor chord, open 5th string, strum the chord. My pinky goes to the 3rd fret, 5th string. And then I keep the A minor chord, but I lift my middle finger. And I play strings 4 and 3. So we have middle finger goes back down to make the A minor chord. And then you strum the chord. So that part goes. Okay, from the beginning. Let's take it from the beginning. Okay, so after that, the song switches back to the G chord. And the melody line goes like this. Notice I'm still playing the chord on the offbeat. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. That's the easy version. That's the level 1. Level 2 of that melody goes. We'll get to that in just a minute. But I'm just letting you know where we are. So we're playing an easier version of it. So what I'm doing there, I've just got my pinky on the 3rd fret, 1st string. And I hit the open G note, which is our 3rd string. And then I can strum the chord. Now I'm not strumming all the way up to that 1st string. I just put my pinky there as sort of a little safety net in case I happen to bump that. Might as well, it's not doing anything anyway. Then it'll sound okay. But really, for this part, you can do this with no left hand on this fretboard. You can go like this. That's the G note, and then the G triad, strings 4, 3, and 2. That's an open G chord on your guitar by default. So you have middle finger goes down the 2nd fret, 4th string, play the G chord again, and then watch this. That's like just a G arpeggio walking down. So it's open D string, open 4th string, 2nd fret 5th string, all the way down to the 3rd fret 6th string. Notice how my fingers laid into place to play the G chord. So it goes. I'm basically just building the chord as I do that. Then I can strum the full chord if I want. I think I just strummed still. I was really just strumming those middle strings, strings 4, 3, and 2, that little triad. Then after that, I go like this. So it's the rest of the G to the A minor. So that's still your G chord that you've got held down there. It's the 5th string, strum the chord, and then open D string back to your 2nd fret 5th string. So you have, and then to your A minor. So let's take it from the beginning now and play up to that point. We'll play through it slowly. All right, so that's really all there is to the song if we're playing the level 1 version. Now, obviously, in the part 2 video, we're going to go up and play it in a different octave, but we're saving all of the higher octave stuff for the second video. But that gives you a way of playing Shady Grove down in 1st position and playing it in the key of A minor, but playing it in this sort of easy sort of level 1. Now let's take a look at some embellishments we can add to that. We're just going to add basically 3 embellishments just to spice it up a little bit and make it sound a little more like a gallop. I think of it like a horse gallop. Listen to the difference. So here's the way we just learned it. Sounds okay, right? It's just sort of right on the beat, very safe. Here's the way we're going to learn it now. Now listen for a little bit of a gallop here. Hear that? The upstrokes. Now we're introducing some upstrokes with our right hand. So we're going to go back. We'll start at the beginning here. We'll skip the intro. That's the same. But we're going to start with the A minor. Those two are the same. And then there's a hammer on this time. We're going to hammer on to the 2nd fret 5th string. So all of that's the same other than the hammer on. I don't think I did the hammer on the first time. I'll have to look back at that. Now watch this. Hear it? There's that extra upstroke right there. So it's A minor. So it's down, down, up, and then same melody line. So really, we've just added the one hammer on and then that upstroke. But it's already starting to spice things up a little bit. Now watch this. So this starts off the same. This is where we switch to the G chord. Remember, we started with just that open triad. That's the same, but then this is open 4th string, 2nd fret, open 4th string, 5th string on the 2nd fret. So, and then ring finger comes down to the 3rd fret, 6th string. So again, I'm still doing the same kind of thing we did with level 1, where we build the G chord, but instead of just doing it like this, we're going more of a bluegrass style. And that's a good example of what differentiates that bluegrass style. Instead of playing that, you go, you know, little embellishments. Now I realize that that's more difficult than I'm making it to play, but I wanted to just work it in one spot. I didn't want to give you a whole bunch of those. Just work on this in this one spot. Just this line that goes. It's really good exercise. Because once you get that left and right hand syncopation and you're able to do that, it unlocks everything, whatever style you want to do. And it starts with simple songs like this. So you might take a metronome and just practice going over and over that piece until you can start to get it. Start slow and then kind of increase it. So after that, then it goes like, so there's another hammer on to the 2nd fret 5th string, and then there's a down up, which is your G chord. Open D string, back to the 2nd fret 5th string. So then back to your A minor. So all together, that last part that goes to your A minor. All right, so let's back it up and play through all of this level 2 version. All right, well, that wraps up this part 1 video. Come join us at Active Melody for the part 2 video. You'll also have access to the tablature, which you can print out, and you can slow it down and loop it and do all of that stuff. And you would also have access to, if you're a premium member, you'd have access to all of the lessons. I have 10 years worth of lessons like this, coming up on 11 years now. In-depth, deep dive studies in different topics like this, from bluegrass to blues to rock and country, all the soulful kind of rootsy stuff. All right, we'll see you in part 2.